Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Expanse reaction. This is our live. My name is Matt. Okay, so new episode, new Expanse day, new week. Last time on the Expanse, we had I think the name of the episode was Pyre, and we got introduced to a new character that I'm actually kind of excited for because so far he's already kind of one of my favorite characters in this show. And it's the character of Prax, I think. Somebody told me that. They could be wrong, or I could have misunderstood something, but I think his name is Prax. His name is longer, but sure, Prax Meng. And it's a botanist man that was present at Ganymede when the whole thing happened, when everything came down, some bullshit happened. And by the way, regarding Ganymede, somebody actually clarified what actually happened. That is something that I just didn't clue into, which is essentially that no third party fleet of ships or whatever showed up to destroy the whole thing. It was just both UN and Mars armies attacking each other because of the confusion that was the comms coming down. So there was no third party that attacked them. They themselves attacked each other. So that's what that was. That made a lot of sense because I actually did go back to check that scene when that whole thing happened 2 episodes ago, and Gunny was like, the last comment she sent was like, "Oh, there are some like 6 Marines or whatever. They're charging at us," and then it cut out. And of course, the rational assumption to make would probably be, "Oh, it's going down." So that's what that was. I don't know if that matters much, because ultimately what actually does matter is the accounts of what happened from Gunny, but whatever. So yeah, again with the Ganymede thing, we had Prax, that's the doctor man, the botanist man, and he just fits the sad dad archetype with a bad past, with like a tragic past, which is my child is dead, and then it's like, well, she might not be, but we also had the woman that he was with in the ship die tragically, like immediately. So we just get a character and we just make him sad and sad and sadder, and you empathize with him, and it's like, oh, it's okay, buddy, it's gonna be fine. I hope he's all right. So that's immediately a good way to establish a character. So we have him going on, and well, as the episode progressed, we learned that he, as a parent, had like a monitor on his kid, May, that was her name. And she went to the pediatrician earlier that morning to a Dr. Lawrence Strickland, like the Back to the Future character, Strickland. So that would just be totally just whatever. But the thing is that the Holden and Naomi found out that apparently Mr. Lawrence Strickland here, he was actually a contractor to Prodigen, and he had a background there. And he also had like several degrees in really shady stuff, really like advanced stuff. So the fact that he is the only person that had several things on his resume, that it's like, okay, this person is clearly capable of doing a lot of shit, and he knows a lot of shit. He also worked for Prodigen, and he was at Ganymede. He's like the only person who fits all of those. And he was there at the time. So then they discover that this guy, Prax, is like the closest lead and connection that they can find to this doctor. So they're going to talk to him. And he's like, he's just my daughter's like pediatrician. He also helped me with my research a couple times, but I'm just a botanist, man. Here's a soybean. I'm very suspicious of that soybean, though. Like, I really am. I don't know why, but I am. But then they discover that through the app or whatever that Prax had, where it can track like his daughter's movements. It tracked that on that morning when she went to the pediatrician and met him, he actually left the like hospital with her an hour before everything came down. So she's probably alive. The dude is also probably alive. They escaped in some way, shape, or form. Or, and this is what I thought immediately, is that they actually caused it. And for pure shock value, I said maybe the kid, maybe she's the monster. Because we still don't know what the fuck the monster was. I'm assuming it's a construct of sorts, but it could just be manipulating already living creatures and turning them into those. That could also be a thing. Yeah, the proto-molecule works in mysterious ways. I mean, we established that I think that what we established is that it cares about like the living things, and that's what it uses. Well, yeah, because it uses energy, right? So with that energy, it continues to grow and improve. Is that what it was? So yeah, I guess it could have just taken the child and build and improve on the child, quote unquote, to create that monster. So that could be the thing. I'm just going hard on that just because I think it would be really fucked up for my boy Prax here, and that would make sense because that's his role as a character, is to suffer for us, so we can feel something, you know. Yeah, we saw that, and then we decided we're just gonna go to Ganymede and see if we can find any leads on that Dr. Strickland on May. And Prax said, I'm going with you guys because I have nothing left in my life, and you just told me that my child could be alive. I'm going. I don't give a shit who you guys are. I don't give a shit what you're gonna do. I just want to go to wherever my child could be. So he joined the party. I hope he really, really has joined the party. Like, I hope he's not just a character that we're just gonna get rid of in like 1 or 2 episodes. I hope he's an actual permanent party member, because I feel like we built him up pretty well on that 1 episode. I think that there's some potential for a character like that, because I feel like the party the way it is, and by the party I mean Holden, Naomi, Alex, and Amos, very dysfunctional. And it always has been dysfunctional, but lately it's been like, okay, so Holden and Naomi are fucking, but also Naomi kind of messed up the whole thing with the proto-molecule that she didn't destroy. She even though everyone told her to do it, and then she lied about it. And that's gonna come to bite us in the ass for sure, and that's gonna make Holden very angry for sure. Holden is going through a lot of like decisions where he's like, I must be lawful good, and then he has no option to be lawful good, so then he just starts losing his mind. We've had a couple of those by now, so he's going in a very interesting path. So, and then we got Alex, who is essentially like the soul of the team because he's keeping everyone together, because Amos is also having a fucking breakdown. He's having a mental crisis in the past like 2 episodes. And oh yeah, somebody told me like I don't think he's a robot because he was looking at like the records of like Lydia or whoever her name was when Alex walked in previous episode, and a robot wouldn't have done that because he wouldn't have care. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I don't think he went through with the robot stuff. I say robot, but I know it's not literal. Don't worry, guys. But so all 3 of them are super dysfunctional. Alex is the only thing keeping things together. Like, he's the only sane person on this ship. He still has struggles. Like, he mostly, like, he cares too much about people, and he regrets not being able to save everybody. Not in, like, a tragic hero way, but in a way of, like, I'm gonna run the simulation, like, fucking 20 hours in a row to see how could I have done this in a way that could have saved everyone, or at least more people than we did, because we lost, like, 50 people that one time. Fuck me. that was too much. I can't do that anymore, you know, because he does care. And he consistently shows that he cares about people just in random casual interaction. And that's something I like about Alex. But I feel like there is more room for a straight man into in this party. Not really a straight man, but like someone that is just not messed up. And not to say that Prax has not gone through stuff, because he has. But at the end of the day, and given we didn't get to see much of his character, but at the end of the day, he just strikes me as like a very calm and like quiet and kind of shy character. And he was just a nice dad. He was just doing some botany, and everything fell apart and everybody died. And now he's just like sad and depressed. He's not even angry. He's not lashing out. He's just sad and depressed. And he's just like looking down and just goes and look at the picture of his daughter and just uploads it. And then he just walks away. And it's just like, I feel like we have a room for a character that is not like, is not like loud and angry or loud and whatever, or lying and deceptive. It's a character that is just chill and sad. I wonder what dynamic that would bring up with the party. I'm talking a lot, assuming that he will become a party member, but I really want him to do. I really want him to become a party member. Hopefully this episode there's going to be some interactions about that, because the thing is that the Rosie crew and him, they're not a crew yet. He's just tagging along. I'm just hoping that he will become part of the crew now. Maybe this episode, maybe not, but okay. And of course, the other thing that happened previous episode is that Fred Johnson almost got coup d'etat by like a small radical faction with the Spirited Man and some dude that will act as a traitor and as an inside agent that was working in like the command center. And Holden saved them by cutting the air supply into the room, the oxygen. So then they just couldn't breathe. They all passed out, and then they just walked in and just saved everybody and just roped up the bad dudes. And then Drummer, who got shot in this whole debacle, she just straight up took Alex's gun and just pop executed both assholes and just walked away like a badass. I still feel that Drummer could be a character that might betray us in some way, or already has. She's still a badass though, so I like her. But anyway, we might not get to see Tycho or Fred or Drummer or any of that in the near future, because they said at the end of the episode that probably they're not going to come back there because they're not going to be welcome there anymore, because Tycho wants a product molecule, and they go like, if we find the product molecule, we're not going to bring it to you. So he's like, well, then fuck you. So that was that. And that's where the episode I kind of ended. So yeah, I think I covered pretty much most things. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So, The Expanse, Season 2, Episode 9. Let's go. So what's in the ship?
It's just food and medicine for Ganymede. We're not transporting any weapons.
We're gonna have to impound your ship.
That's outrageous.
Just calm down.
No! Enough is enough!
No.
We haven't done anything
please.
wrong! What the hell?
Melissa, no.
Ah!
Well,
Melissa,
oh shit!
I've seen your face all over Sirius Station. You're James Holden.
Yeah, they know him. Well, cover's blown.
It's not a long walk to the embassy entry. Remember, keep
I
your
like how you
eyes
can
front.
feel everyone feeling the
Not
gravity.
look-
Alright, there it is.
On your feet.
Forget your sunglasses too, Gunny.
No, sir.
She just wants to take it.
Venus was the end of Eros. I seriously doubt we'll find anything down there.
If we're lucky.
I didn't think you had any useful skills. I want a full status report when you're done.
Of course, Colonel Janus.
He's Portuguese. The J's silent.
Colonel Eamon?
She's slow.
When I was little, I was fascinated by stars. I thought they were magic. Kept coming up with all these crazy theories about how they worked. Drove my father crazy with all my questions.
Oh, I'm sure there are many other reasons.
I wanted to believe in magic.
Well, you know, that's normal for a child, right?
That's because children are stupid. Just because you can't figure something out doesn't make it magic.
No, it just makes it alien.
What do you think Eros left behind on Venus? Little gray humanoids with big black eyes who come to turn us in?
No, blue. But yes to everything else.
You're gonna twist the facts to support your position. That's not just bad science. It's dangerous.
We just picked up an MCRN ship in Venus orbit.
What is this situation?
All right, need your hand terminals, please.
Why are you doing this?
Because we need a ship to get us on the Ganymede station. And ours is too conspicuous.
The people there are suffering, you know. These supplies can save lives.
And they'll get where they're needed. I promise.
I don't believe you.
Boy, this ship is a grade A piece of shit.
Prax.
My name is Prax Meng.
Okay, there we go.
You don't know me, but I was a colleague.
Is he recording this?
I was a friend of your cousin.
Oh, he's sending a message to the family of the woman that died.
She got me out of the station when the mirrors fell.
Hmm.
She was on her way back to Mars to be with you, but she was badly injured in transit. And she died.
He's not even telling the truth because
She probably wouldn't have even been on the ship with me if she hadn't helped me. So I want to say I'm sorry.
he's even blaming himself for it. Oh my god. Oh.
I'll never forget her and what she did for me. You didn't answer me when I called.
I was busy. Come on, we need you upstairs.
No, I need to send a message.
You can't.
Am I a prisoner?
I don't think so.
Then I have the right to know why. And I'm not going anywhere until you tell me.
I like that he has conviction, you know? He's not a pushover.
It's nice to be having an actual conversation instead of trading recordings for once.
It would have been even nicer if you had met us halfway.
Mm-hmm. The passive aggressiveness too. Oh god.
We are an unarmed research vessel on a scientific mission, as is our right under the Venus Accords. Any interference with our operations may be considered an act of war.
All hands make ready for Venus orbit.
Okay. Are we gonna get to see Venus this episode?
Dr. Strickland pulled your daughter out of the clinic an hour before the battle started. If he's still on Ganymede and we find him, I believe we'll find your daughter.
You can stop pretending to care about my daughter.
That's true.
What does she have to do with this proto-molecule you're after?
How do you know about that?
I told him.
Okay.
He's helping us. We should be straight with him.
Weird for Amos to have done that, but I appreciate it.
What was Strickland treating her for?
She has a genetic disorder.
Oh.
Myroskeleton premature immunosensinosis.
Okay, what is that?
They're not quite sure what causes it. May developed a very serious spinal infection.
Okay.
She was 4 months old. She would have died if we'd been anywhere else, but Ganymede has a natural magnetosphere. That's why everybody goes there to gestate. Pediatric care is state of the art. The moment Dr. Strickland saw her, he knew exactly what was wrong. He gave her regular injections. He kept her alive.
That can't be a coincidence.
Did he inject her about a molecule the entire...
Infrastructure network smashed. How are we supposed to find anyone there?
Well, the first step is getting there. We'll leave the Somnambulist once we dock, and then we'll intermingle with the locals.
And then?
And then we'll assess the situation and take it from there.
Your plan's always this vague?
This is about average.
Mm.
You all must be very lucky.
Yeah.
Fair share.
Yeah.
And how are we supposed to get back?
Plan A is hitching a ride to an outgoing relief ship. Plan B.
That'd be me.
He's just gonna fly in!
So if anything goes south down there, y'all just holler. Cavalry will come running. I will quietly deorbit, no burn, hug the surface, and we will rendezvous at one of these service airlocks here. We'll scoop you up, we'll strap in for a max burn up and out.
With every torpedo that every MCRN ship in orbit can launch, heading straight at us.
Yeah.
That's your plan.
It's not a good plan, but it is the plan.
I hope your luck rubs off.
I like how serious he was. He was like, really, motherfucker? This is what you're doing? Okay.
We have brought in the lone survivor of the surface engagement. This is Marine Gunnery Sergeant Roberta Draper.
Okay. How is this gonna go? What is she gonna do? Is she gonna lie or not? And what is the correct choice? What is the correct thing to say? Lie or not? Because they're ultimately trying to prevent war, everyone.
We were out of contact with our ship and unable to confirm, and at the time, our comms were jammed on the field.
Is it possible that your Marines were testing their gear or conducting some sort of training exercise?
It's possible.
Okay.
We also had lost contact with our units.
They were closing in on us fast. We mistook a training exercise as an active engagement and opened fire without orders.
So she did lie.
Responsibility is mine.
She's taking the
battle
fall.
on the surface is what precipitated the battle in orbit.
That's what devastated Ganymede Station. That's on you too.
According to our investigation, it was Private Richard Travis that fired the first shot.
He was born on Earth. His parents emigrated.
They're throwing him in on the bus. That's not gonna fly away with Gunny. She had a lot of respect for those people. And now that guy's gonna go down as a war criminal.
Either of our interests.
She saw something.
Crippled.
She perceives something. She's gonna maybe have a talk with Gunny alone.
They didn't have to say all that crap.
Yeah, I knew
Why
that.
didn't you tell me they were gonna say that?
Because I knew you'd react like
Travis
Yes.
was a good soldier. He died for Mars, and you all just threw him into the goddamn crusher.
Travis did die for Mars. And if that story stops a war that we do not want, then he died a hero.
That's also true. Just that nobody will ever know that he was a hero. It's like Metal Gear Solid 3 all over again.
The hard part's over. You can relax now.
No, the hard part is dealing with this shit and like knowing this.
They must have been thrilled when they realized the one who fired the first shot was born on Earth.
It'll let them save face back home. How would you like us to proceed?
Squeeze the arrogant dusters for everything you can get, of course.
With pleasure, sir.
This young man is a perfect scapegoat.
Yes.
Almost purpose-built.
Yes.
What a gift horse in the mouth, Christian.
I never understood that idiotic phrase.
I look every mouth of every gift horse.
No one's completely happy, but everyone comes out of it with something. You know what that's called?
Horse trading.
Lasagna.
For the go.
I really put my foot in this batch, partner.
You're gonna get us all killed.
That is a possibility. Like, not even kidding, not even gonna lie, that is a dead-ass possibility.
We're going to need a statement from your government accepting responsibility.
You're not gonna get one.
Never hurts to ask.
One last thing. I'd like to speak to
Of
Sergeant
course.
Draper again.
Of course. She wanna talk to her again. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this.
An entire nation dedicated to a common goal. To turn a lifeless rock into a garden. A dear friend told me that. He wanted to retire to Mars, but he died. The majority of people on Earth don't have jobs. They don't work at all. They live on basic assistance, which the government
This was implied
provides.
before.
I did know that.
You call them takers, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not that they're lazy, you know. It's just that we can't give them enough opportunities. In this building, it's easy to forget.
With all due respect, madam, where are you going with this?
Wherever I goddamn like.
She's so good. She's so fucking good.
They gave up everything to go to Mars. To provide a better life for their only son. I'm sure Travis believed in that dream as well.
He did.
Were other Martians prejudiced against him for being from Earth?
Literally everyone, yes.
Was he a good soldier?
One of my best.
Do you really believe that after all that sacrifice,
He would throw away everything.
did he panic?
I don't know. He
Then why did he fire?
Well,
What was the reason?
we thought we were under attack.
Under attack? So you were fired upon?
No, he was trying to kill the enemy. I didn't even know what it was. Nobody did. He wasn't wearing a vac suit.
Sergeant Draper.
There we go.
She needs to rest.
Whoever the fuck you are, stand down and let her speak.
We need to find that drone.
It was Travis.
Nope, throwing him under the bus. She realizes she has to say it. What's that? Drake equation?
The average rate of star formation times the fraction of stars formed with planets that could support life. Fraction of those that could develop life, and intelligent life, and the fraction of those that could develop technologies that might release detectable signals into space. And of course, the time over which those signals might be detectable.
That's just a big fat guess.
It suggests there are over 36 million advanced civilizations out there doing all kinds of things that we just don't understand.
If that were true, we would have detected signals by now.
Not necessarily. Space is a big, empty place.
Yes.
Or maybe all those other civilizations are gone. Maybe it's the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself.
This is also true. Both of you assume a lot of shit. Eros impact crater scanning. He just sent that information to Christian, didn't he?
Presence of biological compounds in the air above the crater. Life in an environment that melts lead. It should be impossible.
Eros changes everything, just like a soldier on Ganymede without a suit.
She did hear that, which is like the most important thing she could have heard from Gunny. The Rose is gonna hide on Jupiter moon number 54, Silene. I would just sit here. Boy, I could go for some lasagna.
I know your type. You're on a crusade. So go save the world if you think you can. I'll settle for helping a few of the poor souls who have to live in it.
We'll be out the door as soon as we land.
Good.
No, don't start a fight. Who are they though?
Our agreement was 10%.
They're just gonna
take 20. Skim the best. But these supplies they're desperately needed.
Yeah, by us.
Okay, we're gonna go back to save them.
We got company!
Okay, did anyone get injured? Did the other two get injured? Oh, he's dead.
They were gonna kill you. We had to do something.
Yeah, he's dead. Well,
sorry.
This is a really fucked situation.
Oh my god.
Because,
Go! Or I'll call the harbor master, or the Martians, or whoever it takes to make you leave! Get off my ship! Go!
Whew. Oh, and that's the end of the episode too. Oh my god. Okay. Ah, that was good. I enjoyed that a lot. Okay, so that was the Weeping Somnambulist. I think that was the name of the episode. Oh yeah, I closed my TXT for a second. Sorry, there was a little break in between the recording of the reaction itself and this discussion bit. But okay, so that episode was pretty alright. So God, there are a couple of things I want to talk about, and I don't know in which order to address them, but dude, like that scene at the end where they go and save that woman, I really like it because they saved her, but they didn't save the dude who was a pretty chill dude. They couldn't save him. And then she's just crying. But like this is addressing something she said earlier, which is, I know your type. You're on a crusade. You're one of those people. I would rather just save the people that are immediately in front of me, like the small groups of people, instead of going on an idealistic battle against the system or whatever, you know? Which it is putting in contrast what our main character group is doing versus what people care about, very clearly, because and it is that scene at the end where they literally just see those guys and they're like, all right, we're just gonna take your shit, and who knows if they could have killed them. Like they could have killed the woman and the dude after they had helped them, or they could have just not kill them. They look like assholes, and they did seem like I just kind of want to kill people for putting the name of another like wordless favor or whatever in the ships. And it's like, all right, you're established as an asshole already, so you're probably gonna kill them. We don't know that though. But after the act that Holden and Amos and they pulled the stunt they pulled means, and that made the dude die. So regardless of what would have happened if they hadn't showed up, that doesn't matter because the dude is dead now. Like, this is the reality we're facing now. And she's just like, get the fuck off my ship, leave me alone, just get out. And she has said that several times, and it's because she wanted nothing to do with this situation, because they literally just took their ship and they said, it's okay, we're not gonna hurt you, we just want to use your ship as a means to get into Ganymede. That's it. And they did so, but in doing so, they became this ship of these two people, the woman and the dude, became involved into something greater. And because they used it, and because they were there at that point in time, this whole situation at the end happened. So it is technically the main character's fault for roping these two random civilians that were just here to help people into the situation where one of them died. And that is supposed to show you that this is the small groups of people that end up suffering as a result of a greater conflict that is happening. In this case, Holden and just the Rosie crew, well, minus Alex, but plus Prax. I'm glad he's here, but they are on a mission to discover what the fuck is the deal with this proto-molecule thing, what the fuck is the deal with this Dr. Lawrence Strickland, what is the deal with the kid with Maid, what happened? It's like, okay, we're going into this stealth mission and we're gonna infiltrate there, and then we're gonna escape and dodging whatever, and it's like, it's this whole greater mission conflict that they have set up. But it's easy to forget that there are people that just gonna get roped into this, and we don't think about them, but they exist, and they just wanted to use the ship as a means to get in. And it's like, it's okay, you don't matter, we're not gonna hurt you, it's okay, we're just gonna leave immediately, that's gonna be fine. But they did get affected by the fact that they used them to get in. Not directly, but they are victims of consequence. So that is a really good situation to put our main characters in, because it is a reminder of what, and she even said it, of the small people that suffer as a result of whatever grander conflict that happens. And now you get the example in front of you of like, this dude died and this woman is just wailing in crying and just screaming for you to get the fuck out of here. And she just doesn't care. Like, they even tried to fix the navigation for her ship. She was like, Naomi, fix that, see if you can do something for her. And she's like, okay. And then she's just like, no, get out, just screaming and crying. And it's like, and Holden, even at the end, he's just like, look at her as she was just crying at the most vulnerable moment in her life, probably. And he's just like, fuck. And it's like, yeah, we are to blame for this one. Not like, it's not that we shot the guy ourselves. Actually, I don't know if they did. I don't think they did, but that action scene kind of went a little fast. But I don't think they did. They just showed there in order to help them, and they did. They did save the woman who could have potentially have died in another scenario, but the dude died in the process. And it's, the thing is that they wouldn't have even been there in that situation if it hadn't been for them using them to get into Ganymede at that point in time. So there you go. That's how that goes. And oh man, I like that. I like that because it pushes a little more of a. It pushes a little bit of character into our main crew of characters, mostly Holden and maybe Amos, because I think that the more we get to see them go through situations like this, and I don't think it's gonna be the last one, the more they're gonna grow as characters, because these are situations where it's like, fuck, And we're probably not going to address that again. Well, maybe like once, like one dialogue, but like we're probably not going to address that, and this woman character is not going to come back. She's not going to matter, but like it will matter for Holden. It will matter for maybe Amos, for maybe Naomi, for maybe even Prax here. So that is something that I really like about that scene. That is something I really like about that scene and those characters they set up, and I would say they used correctly. One of them as just a death, and the other one to show you the impact of the death. And that's great. That's really great. I enjoy that. There is this formula. The Drake equation. Is this an actual thing? This is something I want to know. The Drake, it is a thing. Wikipedia. The Drake equation is a probabilistic argument used to estimate the number of active communicative extraterrestrial civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. It was written in 1961 by Frank Drake. Okay, so I think the show did a pretty okay explanation in like explaining very shortly what that equation was about. So I'm not gonna go over those details, I don't think. Okay, we had this characters of God, I don't know his name, but the one guy that met up with Abasarala, and they had like a dinner together, and he was like, "Listen, aliens, it has to be aliens, man. I know for a fact it's aliens. I'm gonna go there myself, and I'm gonna take a good look at them aliens, and I'm gonna report back to you." And then she was like, "All right, you're gonna be my inside agent then." So that guy, this motherfucker that is obsessed with aliens, and we got to see him en route there, and he seems to be kind of like a cheerful guy. He has a personality about him, and I enjoy that. I enjoyed giving a personality to some of these characters, because a lot of them are kind of straight, kind of boring, kind of fucked up, but this guy is just, I'm a fun guy. It's like, okay, that's good. I'm expecting him to die now, though. so that's how I feel about that. He was on the ship, and I didn't write down the name of the ship. Yeah, it was the Arbogast. He is in the ship, the Arbogast, going to Venus to see what the fuck is up there, and he is with Commander Janus or Lieutenant Janus or whatever, Mr. Janus here. He is kind of so the guy that we're following, he's like, it has to be aliens, and Janus is like, aliens don't exist, shut the fuck up. So that's the dynamic going on. I know it's more complicated than that. I don't give a shit. So that's kind of what their interactions went by. So here's the thing, is that they then saw at the end of the episode, nearing the end, they saw that Venus, there was a Martian ship that they detected around them that was like tracking them, shadowing them, and they were like, maybe they were guarding Venus or whatever. We didn't get to see any resolution to that, I don't think, but eventually they got to see a clear look on the Eros impact zone on Venus, and here at the end. So he sends a message to Abasarala. I want to read the subtitles again. Ion scans indicate the presence of biological compounds in the air above the crater. Okay. Life in an environment that melts lead. It should be impossible. Eris changes everything, and then she goes like, Eris changes everything, just like a soldier on Ganymede without a suit. So let's circle a little bit back to the UN Martian conference with Gunny, where they essentially go over, okay, the whole thing that happened on Ganymede. What do we do about it? So Gunny, she was told to lie and say that they mistook the soldiers that they might have been doing a training exercise or whatever, and communications were down, so they said, all right, we're being attacked, and we shot first, and we are to blame, right? She said that, and she actually followed through with it. She was like, yep, that's what happened. And then when they started pointing fingers at her, then the Martians went like, no, she's just fine, she's great, she's just the most awesome agent we have, she's the best. It was this guy, the dude, the black dude that was born on Earth, and we fucking treated like shit the whole time. It was him though, because he maybe he wanted to prove how Martian he was, and there was conflict in the days previously. Like he punched some of his teammates, that there were some complications. So maybe it was him. Maybe he was going through some shit, and he was like, man, I want to be Martian. I'm gonna kill those Earthers, and he started it. Maybe he jumped the gun, whatever. So yeah, it was him, and I immediately knew that Gunny was gonna be like, what the fuck, because I know that Gunny from like, I think it was 2 episodes ago, Gunny was like very, she really did love her squad, she cared for them, so like that's the purpose of the Gunny squad, is that like they didn't matter, but the relationship that the emotions that Gunny felt towards them matter, and that's what those things were about. Is because when that happened, when they used that guy as the scapegoat, no, he did it, it's fine, we're just gonna throw him under the bus, he was a war criminal, don't worry about it. They didn't say he was a war criminal, they just said, oh yeah, he jumped the gun, it was his fault that all this shit happened. So Gunny immediately went like, no, what the fuck, you didn't tell me that you would do that. And he was, and the Martian dude is like, I knew I didn't tell you, and they didn't tell you because I knew you would react like this, because she did have a lot of respect for that man. She did have a lot of respect for that squad, and now that he's dead, and they're going like, no, he shot first. He's the one. Let's just fuck that guy. And Gunny is like, what the fuck? He was my friend. He was part of my squad. I had massive respect for him. I saw how much shit he had to take from literally everyone, including myself. And now we're just saying, no, it was him. Just don't worry about it. Just throw him out of the bus. He did nothing wrong, but let's just say that he did, for the sake of politics. She's like, fuck you. But then, like, there's also the thing where the Martian man says is like, but like, listen, like I know he died a hero, but if we can use him in order to avoid a war, he will be an even greater hero, because like he is right in saying like, listen, this is the best thing we can possibly do in order to stop the possibility of a war. Tensions are high, shit's fucked. We need to do what we need to do in order for war to not happen. And this is the best thing we can do. So we're just going to do that, okay? He was like the perfect scapegoat, as Abbasarala said, so we're just going to do that. And I like that Abbasarala immediately picked up on the fact that there was something wrong with Gunny. Maybe she wasn't being fully truthful, like Abbasarala might have like a 40 perception points passive, like Jotaro in part 4, or even 3. But then she's like, I want to talk to Sergeant Gunny Draper again and see what the fuck is up. But like in between there was the scene when she was talking to Ehrenreich and they were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, they're full of shit, this is like the perfect scapegoat, don't care, because they were both, everyone was like, it's fine, I don't give a shit, they're shaking in their boots, we are also kind of not in a great situation, we all win by letting this happen, so we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna accept this gift horse in the mouth. We're just gonna accept this gift horse and not look it in the mouth. And I like that Abbasarala is like, no, this is fucking bullshit. I want to know what actually happened. And everyone is just willing to just take whatever they're offering you and just be none the wiser. But Abbasarala is the one that is like, no, I want fucking answers, god fucking damn it. So then she just, in front of everybody, just goes like, hey, bring that soldier in. I want to know what the fuck was that about. So then she just does. And then she proceeds to have that, like... This is like... So the best talkers in the show are Christian and Anderson Dawes. These two motherfuckers are the best talkers in the show. They have so much charisma. So much charisma. Thing is that Christian, I think, uses them more in intimidation than Anderson Dawes does. I think Anderson Dawes is a persuasive dude. Christian is intimidation. She also has persuasion, but also intimidation. Because there were moments. So not only she's sweet talking Gunny into like saying good things about, I think his name was Travis, you know, and she was like, well, you said he was one of your best men. Wouldn't you think that, why would he, someone that his parents carried this dream of like working and making a good future, and that he definitely carried on, and you said it inspired him to be one of your greatest soldiers, and all that training and all the time that he spent together with you, do you think that he would throw all of that away, jumping the gun, and just risk the lives of all of his Martian comrades and everyone else, just jumping the gun with all of that in mind? And it's like, fuck, and like that got to Gunny, but she stick with it. She is stuck with the lie, because, well, she broke a little bit. She actually did break a little bit. She was like, I don't know. It was confusing. There were all this crazy stuff, and there was a man without a suit, and everyone's like, And then she's like, nope, it was Travis. It was him. She just stuck with the lie at the last second. She regained her composure, and then she was like, no, it was him. Because she realizes at the end that, nope, this is what we need to do in order for shit to not hit the fan. So I'm just going to carry on with the lie as much as I don't like it. So, yeah, kudos to her for doing that. I think that is as best as it could have gone, because she did give a crucial bit of information to Avasarala that she did remember here at the end of the episode, when she was like a soldier in Ganymede without a suit. So she did give a crucial piece of information without actually just betraying everything. She just lost her composure, and then she was like, no, it was Travis. Just stuck with it. But that one line of dialogue that Avasarala picked up on, because she's just fucking hot, you know, she's like precision. And that might have been the best case scenario for what for how that conference would have gone down. But also kudos to Avasarala, because there were a couple moments where I don't know exactly how they went, but it was like moments where people on the conference were like, where is this going? And Christian is like, it's going wherever the fuck I want. Just like, and everyone's just like, all right, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. That was good, because like, it's so good. It's so good. Christian is such a good character. I like that so much. Like, she has such raw badass energy, and I like, it's like Fred Johnson in like the delivery that the actor gives to some of these lines, you know. It's all in the voice. I don't know if they have done voice acting work, but they absolutely could, because holy shit, they're good. They're fucking good. With all due respect, man, where are you going with this? Wherever I goddamn like. And she just has this like cynical smile of like, he's going wherever the fuck I want. And then the dude is like, I'm looking at his face. He's like scared. He's like scared for how that went. And that is so good. Christian is so fucking good at this. She's so fucking good at her job. So, okay, that was really good. I really like that. Okay. What else to talk about? I know a couple things we can talk about. I'm just trying to find an order. At the very beginning of the episode, when they met those two people on the Weeping Somnambulist, it's like, I didn't think those would be Holden and Amos. Like, I was like, did I skip an episode? No, we just did like a minor time skip, just like No, we get explained the plan later, and it's like, okay, that's good, I like that. We get to see our boy Prax. I call him... So, okay, his full name is Praxadic Meng. But I assume people just call him Prax. So, we get to see him. He's just sitting on his room. He's locked in there. He has limited restricted access, and he's like recording a message for the family of, what was her name? Doris. Okay, so Doris. He was a colleague, a friend of Doris. So Doris was the woman that we saw, I'm pretty sure, that we saw on the previous episode where she got spaced, and Praxis, it feels like shit about it, because of course, I'm glad that we're bringing that back, because we did it in the previous episode. It was more about the daughter, but in this one, we are, and he is sending a message to the cousin of Doris saying like, listen, you don't know me, but I was a friend and colleague of Doris, and I'm here to inform you that she actually did pass away. She unfortunately died on a ship. She complications due to injury, whatever. He just bullshitted something. Just to not say that she got spaced by some assholes, because that would be rough. That would be a rough news to deliver, and it's just not gonna be good. It's just not gonna be good to ever say that. So he just didn't, and I like that he didn't. But the nature of the message was not about that. It was about, she saved me when Ganymede blew up. Essentially, she saved me when everything just fell apart. I was unconscious, and she got me out of the building, I think, and she just saved me. And I would have been dead if not for her. She saved my life, and I owe her a lot. But it's also the thing that, like, if she hadn't helped me, like if she hadn't just gone to help me, she could have probably escaped sooner or whatever, and maybe took a different ship or anything, and she would have been in a different situation where she wouldn't have died. So he's just like, I'm sorry, I'm taking full responsibility for her death. And I'm like, oh my god, like, this character is so good because he's so pure. That's it. That's how I feel about him. Like, I'm sorry, Alex, but you got surpassed by this guy, by Prax here, because he's apologizing for causing her death despite not causing her death. He's just apologizing for being unconscious and being death weight for her, so then she had to carry him to the ship, and then she died on that ship because the other guys were assholes. But it's like, if she hadn't given a shit about me, and I would just, or maybe I would just die immediately, like on hit. If I hadn't survived, there is a possibility that she could have survived. So I'm sorry, it's my fault. And I'm like, oh my god, like, you're being such a nice guy. He's like the nicest fucking guy ever. And what I like is that he's not a pushover, and he's not naive or anything. And this is a very big improvement to a previous episode where we show him. I say improvement, it's not really an improvement, it's just that we get to see more of his character. Because in the previous episode, he was just grieving, understandably so, over a lot of shit that happened very quickly for him. Just like a very unfortunate sequence of events. And now he's just broken, so why would he have shown any signs of like being a badass or being serious, you know? He's just sad and he wants to die. That's it. But in this episode, we actually get to see he's trying to send a message, and he doesn't have the permission in order to send it. So he's like, Amos, come here. And then he's like, god damn it. And then he looks at like the footage of the daughter that we realized the previous episode he had. So then he's just looking at it, and he's like, oh May. And then Amos walks in, and he's like, you didn't come when I called you. And it's like, yeah, sure, I was busy. Anyway, we need you there, so you want to come with us? And he's like, why? Am I your prisoner? It's like, no, I don't think so. Okay, then you're gonna have to tell me what the fuck is going on. And I like that. I like that so much because previous episode I would have gotten the vibe of him being like, if he was in this situation, the same situation I just mentioned, Amos would have said like, okay, we need you up there, come with us. He would have been like, okay, I'm going. But he didn't do that. He's like, no, tell me what's going on. Like, actually, tell me what's going on. Tell me what I'm doing here. Tell me why are we doing this whole thing. Amos kind of gives like a quick rundown of the power molecule and whatever the fuck the general mission is. And then I like that there was a scene where they were talking about the plan, and Prax was part of like the briefing, because yeah, why wouldn't he be? And they go like, maybe we can find your daughter or whatever. And he's like, you can stop pretending giving a shit about my daughter. Tell me exactly why are we doing this? What's the point of this? And what is this power molecule thing? And he goes like, and they go like, how do you know about that? Amos told me. And Amos was like, yeah, I told him. I like that Amos was like, yeah, I figure if he's gonna tag along with us, he should probably know. And I'm like, I like that. I wouldn't have expected Amos to be the one to give a shit, but maybe he gone through a couple of things mentally in the past couple episodes, so now maybe he cares a little bit more about things. Even in the previous episode, he was like, you're going with us to find your daughter, right? And he was like, yeah, it's like, that's good. So maybe there's a little bit of a thing happening there. You know, Amos maybe feels something for this guy, you know? He feels bad for him. So that's nice. And I like how cynical and just kind of done Prax was with this whole thing. They were like explaining, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to... And he's like, are your plans really this, like, made up on the spot often? And they go like, yeah. And he goes like, you must have a lot of luck. And they go like, yeah, often. We're very lucky with a lot of the shit that we do. Because I hope your luck rubs off on us. After they explain that the plan is to essentially like get in, do whatever fuck they can do, and then get out, and then they're just gonna come after us and shoot every missile at us, and we're just gonna warp speed and hopefully get away. And he's like, fuck, damn it. Why are you guys like this? You know, I got in the wrong ship. I won out, you know. God, but that's really good, and I like how much conviction he had in this episode versus the previous one. It makes sense that he didn't in the previous one. Like, I'm not saying that it's something that he should have had. It's something that I'm glad we're seeing of him. We're seeing more to this character that I already liked, and now I'm liking him a little bit more. So that's great. He did say that the doctor here, what's the name of the doctor? Strickland, I need to remember, Back to the Future man, bald guy from Back to the Future. So Strickland, he apparently, okay, so his daughter May has a condition. I don't remember the name of the condition. I actually don't care. But that condition, so on Ganymede, it has this very particular property, I assume regarding its gravity, where May could have just lived well, and like any other like gravity or whatever would have like crushed her bones or her spine or something like that. I think it was her spine. So he said like, yeah, she is getting like shots with some shit that this doctor has been like giving her for like ever. I think pretty much ever. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but he was like, yeah, she has had these conditions and she was like, I don't know, 4 weeks old. Yeah, he's been giving her shots to like help her with it, or like I don't know what the fuck he said. Do I want to look that up? Because I feel like I got the gist of it, but the thing is that in this show there are so many dumb specifics that maybe you need to care about and maybe you don't. And like, that's it. It's that it must be infuriating for someone that knows exactly the things to pay attention to and the things not to pay attention to. But I don't know. So to me, it's just, I'm just paying attention to what I pay attention, and sometimes I don't. And we're just gonna move on with that. She has a genetic disorder. Mere skeletal premature immunosenescence. We're not quite sure what caused it yet. May develop a very serious spinal infection when she was 4 months old. Okay, she would have died if we had been anywhere else, but Ganymede has a natural magnetosphere. That's why everybody goes there to gestate. Pediatric care is a state of art. The moment Dr. Strickland saw her, he knew exactly what was wrong. He gave her regular injections, he kept her alive. Okay, so my immediate thought when he talked about that is like, is the doctor had been juicing her up with protomolecule for like 10 years or some shit like that? That could be the case. Well, I'm not sure how much knowledge of the protomolecule we've had for how many years, you know? Maybe it's just something that just happened. That seems to be the impression that you're supposed to get, but maybe they have had some knowledge of it for a decade or whatever, you know? I also don't know how old that child was, how old May was, so I don't know. We'll just get to learn that later. I think that's pretty much it, what happened in the episode. There's also the moment with the Martians just getting to Earth, and you get to see how sick they get. So that was pretty cool. I enjoy that, seeing that, you know. I'm trying to think if there's anything specific that maybe I should have paid more attention to. I want to look at the Drake equation that this guy's talking about. The average rate of star formation times the fraction of stars formed with planets that could support life, fraction of those that could develop life, then intelligent life, the fraction of those that could develop technologies that might release detectable signals into space, and of course, those signals that might be detectable. I like that these two characters are just fighting over they could or they could not be aliens. Because, like, the answer to that question is always literally, I don't know, man. That's always how that argument goes. So taking any side on it is stupid. Okay? Taking any side on are aliens real though discourse is stupid. Because, like, the literal only answer you can give to that is I don't know and I don't care. Because you can say that yes, it is very likely that they exist because there's just so much space out there. However, you cannot say that for sure. But also, it's stupid to say no, there are not. It's also stupid to say no, there are no aliens. I'm the center of the universe. Like that's also stupid, right? And saying anything that you are uncertain about, talking about it as if it was an ultimate truth is stupid. You don't know if you're living in a simulation or not. That is factual. You don't know that. So you can't actually talk about things that you actually don't know. So there you go. You're just operating on the built-up assumptions that you make throughout your life, and you need to learn to identify when at one point you need to go like, yeah, I don't know, and that's fine. So, there we go. Anything else to talk about here? I mean, the thing with the crater on Venus that is just like fogged, and there is life in it apparently. Like, I forgot to mention that. Like, I mentioned it, but I didn't talk about it. But like, yeah, there's apparently life in there. That is not a surprise to anyone, because immediately when Aerostation crashed on Venus, the first thing I said was, oh, we're just gonna have protomolecule planet then. We're just gonna be a blue dot protomolecule planet, just full of blue protomolecule up people. That's just what's gonna be. Like, that was my first thought. So the fact that in the crater, they said that there's life there, despite being a planet that nothing can exist, and it's like, what, how? And it's like, well, because of the protomolecule though. So there you go. We get a confirmation that some shit is happening on Venus. I kind of knew that already. Like, I don't even know. I don't even want to say that I guessed it or that I hope for it. It's like, no, I knew that because it's pretty obvious that that's how that's gonna go, you know. So yeah, I think that's it. I just want to do one less skimming through the episode to see if there's anything else worth rewatching or revisiting in some way. But we might be good. Alright, I think that's it then. I think that's it for this episode and this discussion. So yeah, good episode. I'm looking forward to see what goes down on Ganymede. And I look forward to see more of Prax, man. And like Christian, I want to see what the fuck Christian does, because Christian is like very slowly putting everything together, and I really like that. So yeah, those are the things to keep an eye out on, as well as like, oh, the reveal of like what the fuck is happening on Venus. We can estimate, but I want to see it. So there you go. Yeah, good episode, and I'll see you next week for more of The Expanse. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Expanse reaction. If you would like to see the next one already, maybe, check Patreon, and there's also the full length for this episode already too. Check out the links in the description, and I'll see you next time, okay? Take care.